Hey everybody, hope you're safe, hope you're warm, hope you're well today. With the accumulating sleet and ice, we decided it best to cancel our in-person service, but we don't want to leave you hungry today. So first, if you haven't joined the daily Bible reading plan, this is a great place to stay connected to the Word and to the church community. So an email was sent this morning about that. See that email if you want to join in if you haven't already. Also, we don't want you to miss the chance to connect, and we want to give you a little preview about what the message is all about today and unpack that next Sunday. So, as maybe as a bit of an appetizer, we're in Mark 6, 7 through 13, where Jesus sends out his disciples 2 by 2 on their first mission. And here's what's crazy. He tells them to take almost nothing, right? No food, no bag, no money, right? Just a staff, just their sandals on their feet and the shirt on their backs. Why? Because Jesus was training them to walk by faith, to walk in his authority and trust in his provision, and lean on the kindness of others as a provision from his hand. So he didn't just teach the disciples dependence in theory, right? That's what the rabbis did, right? They taught their disciples with head knowledge only, but Jesus was giving an experiential knowledge. But he sent them into a situation where they had to practice what they then just learned. And one of the ways God provided for them was through the hospitality of the people that they were sent to minister to. Right? Strangers, people who welcomed them, who fed them, who shared what they had. So here's the big idea. Right? Jesus gave small provisions, right, which required a big faith. And when you combine a big faith with open hands, then you have a pretty tremendous kingdom impact. And that's what they did. Right, so that's a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be talking about next week. But for this week, as you study that and you look for these themes, I wanted to leave you with a couple questions, maybe some things to reflect on. Right, so as you sit today in the snow, right, and hopefully not in the snow, but of course in your house with a nice cup of coffee, here's a couple questions to reflect on. First, where is Jesus asking you to trust him? Right, even if you feel unprepared or unequipped, which the disciples certainly did. Maybe you don't feel like you have what it takes, but what if you have exactly what God wants to use? Right, secondly, is there someone God is asking you to bless this week? Right, to be his provision in their life. Right, so just like those who welcome the disciples, you may be someone's answer to prayer. So is there a neighbor who needs help, a meal that could be dropped off, a word of encouragement that could come from you to them? Think about the impact that you could have. And thirdly, what are you holding on to for security that Jesus may be asking you to lay down? Okay, your comfort, your control, a level of certainty. Right, times like this where the storm takes away certain types of securities, well, what are you trusting in? Where does your security and comfort ultimately come from? You know, sometimes the things that make us feel safe, those are the very things that are holding us back from a deeper trust in God's provision. So, those are some questions you can ask yourself this week as you study the text. Again, that's Mark 6. And so, in closing, I'm excited to unpack this in full detail with you next week. But today, I pray that this time that the weather has afforded all of us to slow down, all right, and sit more with Jesus and his word, that you can make Jesus the center of your security. And don't underestimate the little things, right? A simple step toward obedience, small act of generosity, a quiet prayer of surrender. Right, these things may be small in your eyes, but they're powerful in the hands of God because it pushes you towards trust at his feet, and there's no better place to be. So until then, until we can meet together next week, I pray that you stay warm, stay safe, and stay open to what the Lord may be asking of you this week. Right, so blessings on your week, and we will see you, Lord willing, on Sunday.